Shalom, shalom. Quick and our praises on glorification to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, QADASH, and BARAK the YAHAWAH, BARAK the YAHAWASHI, call name La YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, QADASH, and our praises on glorification to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, QADASH, and the closing Damar to the Apothecary Milestone teacher well. And the main topic of the lesson is Isaiah 2, and start verse 1, 1 to 4, you know. Now, because we're about to enter into these times real soon, man, the kingdom of heaven, you know. So this is Isaiah chapter 2, let's start verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in these last, it shall come to pass in the last days, which are approaching right now, that the mountain of the house of Israel, the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Now, does that literally mean that the house of the Lord, the temple, a literal temple, it'll be on top of a literal mountain? No, you gotta be taller than Mount Everest or some shit? No. And not talking about a literal mountain. No. Okay, that's talking about kingdoms. No. Talking about our kingdom being on top of all kingdoms. No, so let's first go over here. Look at Revelation chapter 17 and start verse 9. And here is a mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now, the woman's talking about Babylon the Great, which is a kingdom, city. And it says she's on top of 7 mountains. Does it mean America's on top of 7 mountains? No. Because reading on, there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, must continue a short space. Now, I'm talking about the 5 kingdoms are Jermaine Major, Jermaine Minor, Greece, Spain, and I'm missing one. Jermaine Major, Jermaine Minor, Greece, Spain. Oh yeah, yeah, France too. Because all those regions were taken over during the time of the Romans. All those regions were conquered. The one that was Rome, because Rome was the one in power. And the one that's sure to come was Britain, because only Britain was part of the ancient Roman Empire, but they weren't a main key player in power, They came about during the British Empire, But at a short space, because it quickly got, supplanted, overtaken by America, America became the new hot shot, after Britain, which is the time period we're living in now, No, the main point right there is that the 7 kings are those 7 mountains. Now, not literally 7 mountains. It's talking about 7 kingdoms. Now that's those 7 mountains. Okay, talking about kingdoms. Mountains in the scriptures mountains and hills represent kingdoms. So I get another one showing that. Book of Daniel chapter 2 and start verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall Yahweh, power of heaven, set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So this kingdom got to take over all the other kingdoms, man. And that'll be a top kingdom in the world. And that's got to be the kingdom of heaven when YAHAWASHI comes. Claims his throne. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and break in pieces the iron and the brass and the clay and the silver and the gold, and the great God Yahweh have made known to the king that shall come to pass hereafter. The dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. So that's that stone, the kingdom. Now going back a little further up, where it said here we go. The book of Daniel 2 and 35. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, and the silver, and the gold broken in pieces together. It's talking about the same thing, the kingdom of heaven, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor. So came like dust to the wind. Get cast off, man. Turned away, turned to nothing, man. This is what got to happen to these kingdoms, man. Now, in the last kingdom in rulership, it was NATO and the EU. NATO and the EU. That's the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns. It's NATO and the EU. No, as I was going into earlier. No, because all the nations that I listed off, Britain, Rome, Greece, Spain, France, etc. All those nations basically encompass NATO and the EU and that whole region. They were all originally part of the Roman Empire. No, and with all the Germanic tribes up there up north, they're allies to Rome and all that stuff. The Roman territory spread real far into Europe, man. No, so this is just a revitalized Roman system. That's the whole thing talking about. Okay, but reading on. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So that's a great mountain. That's a great kingdom. And so when scripture is talking about mountains, you gotta understand in a spiritual sense, that's talking about kingdoms. It's like, for instance, right here. It's like, or in Jeremiah, I believe Jeremiah 50, we're talking about Babylon the Great being a burning mountain, man. No? So all throughout the scriptures, mountains are related to kingdoms, So reading again, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahawah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. It shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it, because all the nations are going to be coming unto us. Why? To learn the wisdom, to learn the laws, statutes, commandments, because they're going to be forced to. No? So we're going to be the law of the land in that time. Now we're going to be the law of the land during that time. So the nation is going to be coming up to us. No? Those that give us their riches, the gold, and the wealth. No, et cetera, et cetera. No? So let's go down here. Zechariah 14. Go 16. It shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came up against Jerusalem should even go from year to year to worship the King of the Lord of hosts, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So they're going to be also keeping the feast days too. Like the Feast of Tabernacles. They got to come up to the Passover. They're not going to eat the Passover, because according to the law, the heathen can't eat the Passover. So they got to be there in the land. Also for the Feast of First Fruits as well. For all the high holy days, are going to be forced to come up to Jerusalem. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the things of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King of the Lord of hosts, and upon them shall be no rain. So we're going to be the law of the land during that time, man. The heathen going to be coming up be forced to come up to worship us. Because we're going to be the rulership during that time. We're going to be the ones in power. So they're going to be coming to us, man. To learn of our laws, to learn the right way. To give glory to our God, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. Those are because they're going to be forced to. That we got to go into. Isaiah chapter 54, Isaiah 45 and verse 14. Thus saith Yahweh, the labor of Egypt, and the merchandise of Ethiopia, and of the Sabians, men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee. So the heathen are going to come to us. In chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely Yahweh is in thee, there is none else. There is no power. So the Lord is with us, man. And they're going to be coming up in chains because these heathen are going to be enslaved us, man. We're going to be the ones in rulership, man. So that's why the heathen are going to be coming to us during that time, man. To serve us. To build up our houses, to farm our crops, to do our work. They ain't going to be coming up for your shits and giggles. They got to be coming up there for work. And also because they're mandated by the feast days and the high holy days as well. That's why they're going to be coming up there, man. For the first 1,000 years, they're going to be forced into captivity. After 1,000 years, according to Revelation 20, because Scripture said we got to reign with the Lord for 1,000 years. But after 1,000 years, no, we got to send them back to the land. Now we got to send them back to where land they came from. Now they got to be forced to still keep the law, and forced to come into the high holy days. But in that, they got to be doing where they want to do, in righteousness, I should say, because they got to be forced to keep the law as well, No, but the main point is there could be the law of the land, they could be forced to come up to us, But this is Isaiah 16, start verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have I mercy upon thee. Therefore thy gates should be open continually. They should not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, that the kings might be brought. Why would they get be brought? Because they get served. No? Now bring unto us their riches, man, the forces of the Gentiles, which goes into their riches, man, their glory, their wealth. Now all the things they got, they could be given to us, man. Now we got to spoil them. That's Jeremiah 30 and 16, man. We got to spoil them, man. No, i.e. take their shit, man. No? But now you got certain Israelites out there who have a problem with that. Because only at the end of the day, they just want the heathen to rule over. They don't want to punish the heathen. Because that's Jake for you. Now, Jake got that soft mentality in them. Now, they want the heathen to be all buddy. They don't want to be all buddy-buddy with the heathen and shit like that. They don't want to actually be in rulership, man. Now, they got Stockholm Syndrome. They don't want to actually be rulers. They don't want to be kings. They don't want, they don't want no sort of authority over the heathen. They want to be equal with the heathen. That's really what it is. They don't want to be equal to the heathen. They want to bring Becky too. You want to bring Becky and Tom and Brian and and Christopher. Now they want to bring them all along with them. That's what they want to do. Now they want to bring these dudes along with them, man. No, and, they got to bring their own destruction, man. But they don't give a damn, man. No, because these dicks are clueless. But anyway, Isaiah 2 and 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the Mount of Yahawah, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahawah from Jerusalem. So the word, the wisdom and understanding could be coming out of us during that time. That's the river, it says in Revelation, I believe, like 22. We're talking about the river coming out of the throne of Yahawah. That's talking about the throne of David. No, the house of David, the Israelites. No. Starting with YAHAWASHI, because he's the top of the throne. No, he's over the throne. No. King David's on the throne, but he's over the throne. No. No, he's beyond the throne. No. No, YAHAWASHI. No, he's the son of the Most High. Of course he is. No. But anyway, that river is talking about the wisdom and understanding being pushed out across the four corners of the earth. That's that wisdom and understanding. No. It says in John 7 that out of thy belly shall flow rivers of living water. So that's that river coming out of the throne of the Most High. That's talking about the wisdom and understanding being pushed across the world. No? Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, which Yahushua is going to do, with fire, with chariot fire, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and the spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore, because during that time, it's going to be complete peace. There ain't going to be no more war. They ain't going to have God coming up against us or whatever. They ain't going to have any of that shit, man. It's going to be complete peace. No, complete peace, man. That will got to happen and come about when Yahawashi comes in. Complete peace. How glorious is that, man? No, when Yahawashi comes in, it's going to be complete peace. No? There ain't going to be no more wars, no more death or destruction. Well, death for us. Or destruction for us. No, ain't going to be no more famine going on, some random conflict. Esau wants more money. None of that shit. It's going to be complete peace across the four corners of the earth, man. That's how it's going to be, man. And that's how it will be. Real soon. So low near that basically the main point. I didn't want to bring that out. Because praise on glorification to Yahawah, Shemel Shabbat, Shemakah, HaQADASH, and Shalom.